me your ears and I'll sing you a song, and I'll try not to sing out of key. Oh, I get by with a little help from my friends. I get high with a little help from my friends. I'm gonna try with a little help from my friends. Hey! Welcome back. In today's tutorial, we are going to take a look at, with a little help from my friends, the classic tune from Sgt. Pepper's by the Beatles. I had mentioned we're going to do some songs from around the world, so why not start with the Beatles? Why not start in the UK? This is one of my favorite songs. I know I always say that, but this is another one that's in the top 10 of my favorite songs of all time, and I thought it was a fitting time to play this tune because I feel like during this time where we've been staying home in 2020, that all of you guys out there, my virtual friends, and some of you who I'm meeting online now on Zoom lessons, are getting together to play uke, which is kind of helping us all get a little comfort during this time. So I thought, kind of bring it to the head here in the end of May 2020, we could do a little help from my friends. So get tuned up and let's get to it. All right, let's check out the strumming pattern that we'll use throughout the full duration of the song here. So the strumming pattern is just going to be a down strum. So I'll just be counting 1, 2, 3, 4. Since there's no up strum, there's no and. So the way that this is going to kind of feel a little bit more like a bouncy effect is I kind of call this a staccato down strum. So to do that, and I'm holding a D major chord here as I do this, if you want to check out the graph below. When I play this chord with a down strum, I strum through with my index finger, and rather than letting it ring, like you just heard there, I'm going to shorten that note, aka the staccato. So when I do that, I strum and I release pressure from my fingers, but I still maintain contact with the string. So listen when I do that. Hear the difference between this and this. So something else that's a factor here is kind of also rolling your hand. So I have an entire video about this concept in the description, so you can check that out if you want to get further in depth. But for now, we will just kind of go through this here. So again, when I strum down, I release the pressure from my fingers and kind of roll my hand down. So when you do that fast, it sounds like this. You can hear that bouncy feel. So go ahead and hold a D chord. You have the option of holding it with middle ring and pinky, or a single finger, middle, ring, or index, or your index, middle, and ring. It's up to you. So let's just try that nice and slow just to kind of get this staccato bounce feel that we're going to use throughout the song, and then I will teach you all of the chords that you need here. So let's just start with a D chord, nice and slow to start working on this technique. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep it going. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you might hear a little ringing coming from your bottom A string when you're playing a D chord, and that's where you want to make sure that you're kind of rolling your hand down here so that whether it be your pinky or ring finger, depending on how you're playing the D chord, will mute that bottom string. So that is the strumming pattern that we'll use throughout the song. Each chord requires a little bit different technique as you mute them, so I'll kind of try to point those out as we go through the progression. But again, I think it'd be very valuable for you to check out the full tutorial about this kind of staccato feel strum. All right, let's get into the A section here. So the first chord that we'll start with for the A section is the D major chord. So that is played like this. Now, again, to get that staccato feel, you want to kind of release pressure and rotate down with your fingers. The second chord for the section is an A major chord. So that looks like this with our middle and index finger on the top 2 strings. And as you play that one, you're again going to kind of rotate down to get that staccato feel. Or you can use your additional finger here, which is your ring finger, to get that mute sound. Moving on to the E minor chord is our next chord. So when you play that, it's the little staircase here, index, middle, and ring. And to mute that one, you can either, just depending on your hand size, you can reach over with your thumb to try to mute the top string. Or you can kind of aim to strum only the bottom 3 strings and just release pressure on those as you go. So try each of those options and see which one works better for you. The fourth chord is an A7 chord. So the same kind of technique you'll use as an A chord is you'll strum and use your extra finger to mute that. And then the last chord of the section is just going back to a D. Now, for the second half of this section, which starts with, I get by with a little help from my friends, that's when we move to a C chord. So we'll do the C chord twice. To mute this one, we're going to use the additional finger technique. Again, I use my middle finger to kind of stop that and release the pressure from my ring. So I do, as I set my middle finger down, that kind of stops the notes from ringing there. And then we move to a G major chord. We're going to do that twice. So this is similar to the E minor for muting. As you go through, you can either reach your thumb to get that top string to stop, or you can aim for the bottom 3 strings and just release the pressure on those. So this little part here that goes C, G, D. And again, D, I've already explained the muting technique there. So let's kind of put this together. The only little note here is at the end of the section, there is one single down strum on an A7 that kind of ends the section. So follow along below. Let's play through this section just at a nice slow pace so you can get a feel for the entire thing. And I'll play it with the repeats just as it's done in the actual song. So here we go, starting on the D chord. 1, 2, 3, 4. D, D, A, E minor, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, A, 2, D, 2, 3, 4. Stay on D, 2, A, 2, E minor, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, A7, 2, D, 2, 3, 4, and C, 2, G, 2, D, 2, 3, 4, again, C, 2, G, 2, D, 2, 3, last time, C, 2, G, 2, D, 2, 3, 4, A7. And you can let that A7 chord just ring out. So if you need to rewind and play through that again with me, feel free. You'll have another chance to do so as we go through the end of the video for the consolidated play along. But I would spend a little time working on that staccato strum. It's going to take a little practice to get each of those chords to mute nicely for you. So take your time. This is not something you need to accomplish in the first 30 seconds of watching the video. It took me a long time to figure out how to do this, so enjoy the process of learning this new technique so that you can apply it to other songs and chord progressions that you already know. So let's take a look at the B section now. So for the B section, we're going to use a B minor 7 chord. So to play B minor 7, you can either use your index finger to bar the entire 2nd fret, or if you like using the 4-finger technique here, you can use index, middle, ring, and pinky to do the exact same thing. I'll leave that up to you. I would suggest probably using the bar, and it's good practice. If you feel like you can't press it down all the way, you can always use your middle finger to help put pressure on those strings to get your index finger to compress all 4 of those strings. So B minor 7 is the first chord. The second chord we'll use is an E7, and that's played with index, middle, and ring, like so. This one, you'll want to use the roll technique again to get that staccato feel. So I release pressure, and I'm kind of rolling my hand down so my middle finger deadens this E string that's open. And I will mention quickly that the B minor 7, you're already covering all the strings, so you just need to release pressure on those as you go to get that staccato feel. The third chord is D, which we've already talked about a little bit here, so I won't go into that one. And then finally C and G, where you'll use those same muting techniques from the last section. So let's just play through this B section, which only has these 5 chords. We'll just do it nice and slow, so follow along below as we play through this. Here we go, nice and slow, starting on a B minor 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. E7, 2, 3, 4. D, 2, C, 2, G, 2, 3, 4. Again, B minor, 2, 3, 4. E7, 2, 3, 4. D, 2, C, 2, G, 2, 3, 4. So that is the B section. Again, if you need to pause, spend some time. Don't be afraid to work on songs in a sectional format. Spend some time with the A section. When you feel comfortable, then try the B section, or vice versa. See what works better for you, but don't feel like you need to consume the entire song in one sitting. Spend some time, take it apart, really get comfortable with it before you fuse it all together. Now we're going to take a look at the Coda section, which is just the end of the song. So for the Coda, no new chords. Well, I lied. Actually, a few new chords for you, including a bar chord. Don't leave this video, please. I promise. The bar chord only happens at the end of the song. Here we go. So for the end of the song, we're going to be playing a C chord, G chord, and D chord. And this will be doing the refrain. I get by with a little help from my friends. The only thing that's different in this section is the very end. So after repeating the C, G, D a few times, and you can sing with a little help from my friends as many times as your heart desires, but the very last time that you do, the Beatles always came up with a cool chord trick to just make us feel a little bit uneasy, but this one just makes me feel really, really good. We go from C, 2, 3, 4, G, 2, 3, 4, and then, don't hate me, B flat. So the B flat chord is played like so. Barring the bottom 2 strings with your index finger, I want you to take and pinch the back here, your thumb right behind your index finger so that you can compress those 2 strings. If your thumb is up here or your thumb is too far down, you're going to have a hard time getting that pressure. So make sure your thumb is right behind the first fret. And then with your middle finger and ring finger, I want you to really try to prop those up and get on your fingertips. So if you don't see a bend in your last knuckle, you might have a few muted notes. So keep an eye on that. So the B flat chord, we have index over the bottom 2 strings, middle on the C string on the 2nd fret, and ring on the G string on the 3rd fret. And we'll do that 4 times. So it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, And for muting that one, pretty easy because we're covering all of the strings. You just want to release pressure. So you play and release pressure, which your fingers might already want to be releasing pressure. So maybe it won't be too difficult for you. So try that. Then we go to a G minor 6 chord. The only thing that we need to change here from the B flat is we're just going to remove our ring finger and just play the bottom 3 strings. I didn't play those very well there, but you hear what happens when you add the top note. So we just want to play the bottom 3 strings here, and we'll play that 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we end the song with the home key, which is just a D chord with a single down strum. So let's play through the Coda section here, and we're going to repeat the C, G, D twice before we go add that fun little B flat ending for you guys here. So just follow along, nice and slow. I'll talk us through it here as we go. Starting on the C chord. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, G, 2, D, 2, 3, 4. Again, C, 2, G, 2, D, 2, 3, 4. Again, C, 2, G, 2, D, 2, 3, 4. Now C 4 times, 3, 4, and G 4 times, 2, 3, 4. B flat 4 times, 3, 4. G minor 6, 2, 3, 4, and D. And you can let that D chord ring out since it's the last chord of the song. So let's take one more walk through those chords to give you guys one more repetition at it. I know I threw a B flat chord in here at the last minute and you guys weren't expecting it. So I feel like I owe you another little short playthrough of that just to kind of get another repetition. Here we go. Same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. C, 2, G, 2, D, 2, 3, 4. C, 2, G, 2, D, 2, 3. Again. C, 2, G, 2, D, 2, 3, 4. C 4 times. 2, 3, 4. G, 2, 3, 4. B flat. 2, 3, 4. G minor 6. 2, 3, 4, and D. And that is the end of the Coda section. Any chord transitions that you have any trouble with in either of these sections, I want you guys to spend your time kind of taking those apart. You know, maybe highlight on your song sheet, which we have available at AllForUke.com. If you want to have this all in front of you on a PDF, you can do that in the PDF library there. But I would suggest that you find any chord transitions or any chords that you're having any trouble muting and highlight those. Or write them down, make a mental note, whatever works best for you. But I want you to target those as you practice because there might be chords that are easier for you to get to, and there's those little parts where you find yourself slowing down or your strum can't keep up or your left hand can't keep up. So I want you to kind of work on those before you put those back into the chord progression. So that's just a little practice tip for you as you go along here. But without further ado, let's put these 3 sections together into a consolidated play-along. All right, here we go for the consolidated play-along. Without the lyrics, we'll go nice and slow here. And I will mention that I taught you the full section. There's an A7 at the end of the A section. That only happens in the first verse of the song. The rest of the times, that A7 doesn't happen. So in this time when we play it, there will be no A7 at the end of the A section. Just a little heads up here for you. So here we go. I'll walk us through it. 1, 2, 3, 4. D, 2. E minor, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, A7, D, 2, 3, again, D, A, E minor, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, A7, D. Going to the C chord, C, G, D, 2, 3, 4, C, G, D, 2, 3. One more time, C, G, D. We're going to the B section, B minor 7, E7, then D, 2, C, 2, G, 2, 3, 4, again, B minor 7, E7, 2, 3, 4, D, 2, C, 2, G. Let's go to the coda. So back to C, 2, G, 2, D, 2, 3, 4, C, 2, G, 2, D, 2, 3. Again, C, 2, G, 2, D, 2, 3, 4. C 4 times. G, 2, 3, 4. B flat, 2, 3, 4. G minor 6, 2, 3, 4, and D. All right, now we're going to get a little help from my friend and yours, the old metronome. So this is going to feel a little faster than the last play along, so if you need to spend more time with it, feel free to do so. But this is going to be at 112 BPM. If you want to practice this at a slower metronome setting, you're welcome to do so. Start a little slower than 112 if this feels too fast. All right, here we go. Getting the feel of that metronome. 1, 2, 3, 4. What do I do when my love is away? Does it worry you to be alone? How do I feel at the end of the day? Are you sad because you're on your own? No, I get by with a little help from my friends. I get high with a little help from my friends. Gonna try with a little help from my friends. Do you need anybody? I need somebody to love. Could it be anybody? I want somebody to love. Oh, I get by with a little help from my friends. I get high with a little help from my friends. I'm gonna try with a little help from my friends. Yes, I get by with a little help from my friends. A little help from my friends. Woo! With the metronome and all, you guys did it. Quite a song, quite a song. I had so much fun teaching you guys with a little help from my friends by the old Beatles. Thank you so much for watching. If you guys like this tutorial, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. And don't forget to grab the song sheet for this. That's available at AllForUke.com. You can print it out. You can pull it up on the screen. It'll help you to kind of see this all laid out in one format for you in a PDF. Last but not least, I know I'm not supposed to say that. Leave your comments below. If you guys have song suggestions, leave them in the YouTube comments. I'm always considering new songs for future videos, and I love hearing your feedback. Let me know where you're playing your uke around the world in the comments as well. My name is Kevin. I'll see you next time. Thanks so much for learning with me.